Okay, being 100% honest, I'm a little upset about this one. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. My name is Brandon Aries, and welcome to The Sanctuary. You ever have that one movie from like 15 years ago that gets you in that hype of like, yes, we are back, peak is here, only to be sadly let down? Now, I'll admit it's not all bad, but you gotta hear me out. That being said, you know what time it is. Let's talk movie. And this week, Gladiator 2. Years later, after Rome is being ruled by schmucks, we follow Lucius, son of Maximus from the first one, in case you didn't watch it, but I recommend you should. We follow the journey of Lucius as he makes his way to take back his home of Rome by entering the Colosseum and being a gladiator, trying to... And let me stop you right there, because at that point, you could just roll the credits. You see what's wrong with what I just said? Come here, let me help you. It's the same story. Yep, sorry to say, it's quite literally history repeating itself. And director Ridley Scott is painfully aware of this, as he is the one who made the first one, who came back to do this one. No disrespect and no hate, he's still a great filmmaker. Just don't think this was really the story for him. I think he kind of hit the blockage of what to do after a long passage of time with a sequel. And this is the area for a lot of filmmakers that's very dicey. There was a lot of pressure on this for Beetlejuice, and it actually delivered. This same pressure is on Happy Gilmore too. Speaking of, Adam Sandler, why are you shutting down the airports? People gotta go places for Christmas. For Gladiator 2, Ridley Scott gives these parallels and flashbacks for the first one, and you even have these brief interactions from characters, but it doesn't really give this story on its own a chance to expand. Then you have our main character, Paul Mescal. He's okay. He's not like over the top, like, oh, this guy is the best. He's the next A-list star. Although, it's not necessarily his fault, because someone else just took the spotlight every single time. And that's Denzel Washington, who was an interesting choice for this movie, but I loved his story. I loved it more than Lucius. And that's the problem. And I mean, whatever Denzel plays, hero, villain, something in between, he always delivers a near flawless performance. Denzel is so immersed with his characters that it just feels natural that he's integral to the story. And his performance here does have me excited for when he's in Black Panther 3. I was seeing a lot of people on Twitter saying that the only good actor in this movie is Denzel. And I'm going to tell you, false. Pedro Pascal is good. Connie Nelson, who was in the first movie, came back to this one, and she's still fine. Joseph Quinn was pretty good, but there were some times where I was like, yo, you're really doing the most right now. But it's acting. And like I was saying before, the scale of the story, as well as Ridley Scott coming back to do it with the parallels and the flashbacks, you still get a lot of service for what you're paying for. You're getting the action, you're getting the acting, you're getting the suspense, you're getting, along with the same sort of tropes like, are you not entertained? But not exactly. This movie just being shyly under 2.5 hours, I did find myself kind of annoyed with some of the scenes that don't really add anything. You're building too many fragments of the past that negate from building a future in this world, which is also the obstacle that Paul Mescal has to face, because he's trying to precede Russell Crowe's first performance, followed by being overshadowed by Denzel, and it's just a bunch of bland character that he doesn't get. Lucius, the Prince of Rome, is kind of basic. In the first movie, you had something like, my name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, to only then going, my name's Lucius, I want to take back my home. It's just such a rough place that Paul Mescal is in for this role. And I feel like if the casting was different and maybe more was added to the development of his character, then it would be a different story, which would be good. It would be better for this, right? At the same time, I see why sequels like this add this already registered expectation. You're expecting this to be as great, if not better than the original. And the fact merely is, nah. There's no sugarcoating here in The Sanctuary, okay? Paul Mescal is fine. He just gets overshadowed. His character is kind of basic. Again, overshadowed by Denzel. Denzel did a phenomenal job across the board in this film. Really the essential glue, the backbone of this film, why a lot of people, including myself, wanted to see this movie. It's not bad, it's just the same story, just looking a little different and continuing technically within the same universe. If you really like Denzel, go see this movie. If you really don't care about who's in it, you're just in it for the story, wait till it goes on streaming. Did you or are you going to see Gladiator 2? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below, and then you can come back, watch some other videos here in the Sanctuary, and continue to be a proud member. In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace.